This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
And welcome back, everybody. This is for any of us that have a property that we rent out. And that could be all the time or parts of the year. And many of us gravitate toward those sites. I'm going to say them: Airbnb, VRBO, et cetera, et cetera. However, when you're doing that, I don't have to tell you that you're paying excessive fees, because you know you are. I don't have to tell you that they're really pretty much owning your property. Even though you have the title, they've taken over everything. Imagine if you were to get on a platform like those, but one that's so much better, where you are the true owner, you're in control of everything, whether it's long-term, short-term rental, whatever it might be. I found that for you. And we're going to talk with the gentleman that's behind it all. And by the way, this is ground floor material. They're rolling this out. So if you have a property, listen up. You might want to pivot over and save yourself some headache and save yourself some money. I'm talking about DirectStayNow.com, and Breck Rubin is the man behind it. He's back with us. How you doing, Breck?
I'm doing fantastic. Super excited to be back with you, Steve.
I'm super excited to hear about this platform, because as somebody that doesn't rent a property, that that rents from those sites, I always feel disconnected to the owner of the property. Like when I want to reach out to them, have a question, there's a whole, it's just cumbersome to get that done. And it's a very personal situation when you're staying somewhere, maybe you have limited vacation time. You want to get it right. I feel that there is a disconnect. And is that one of the reasons why you created DirectStay Now?
100%, Steve. I couldn't have said it better myself. Actually, that's the experiences that my wife and I had on a regular basis since 2017, when we started our rental property business. And we went through those things, and it was real difficult, because people are reaching out to us and wanting to communicate and those type of things. And they actually had to book before there was any type of a connection. So I think what we've noticed is that there's a lot of restriction. There's a lot of restriction. We couldn't have connection, couldn't start a relationship, and those type of things. And then one of the things that is out there a lot right now is that there's a lot of illegal activity happening in these short-term rental businesses, because they're getting rented out, Steve, but the owner has no idea really who's coming into their property. And so there have been a lot of trafficking issues of all types, and drugs and different things that the authorities locally are having to be called into, because that's what is happening in a lot of these rentals. And the owner had no idea, because there wasn't an initial connection that they could make, and a verification, and in realizing really who the identity of these people are. And these things started to happen. So it's a big problem. And that's one of the reasons why we've set up DirectStay the way we have, in regards to open communication, big investment we've made in trust and safety. That's some of the biggest things that we've invested in for our platform.
Wow. All right. I never considered that situation, although I'm not even a little bit surprised based on even what I just said. You're disconnected, and that, wow. For the rest of us, what's going on with those other sites that somebody who is putting their properties on there needs to absorb? Certain type of fees. You just described that one situation where we pretty much never know who's renting your property. What are some of the other, I don't want to say disadvantages, I don't want to be negative, but maybe some of the challenges of those other sites?
Sure. I think some of the biggest ones, Steve, are actually the fees, like you brought out earlier, and it's especially expensive for the guest. They pay an exorbitant amount of fees just to be able to book on the site to have that vacation experience. And so that's tacked on to what the typical daily rate is for the rental of the property. So on top of, let's say you stay for a week, you're paying $300 a night. and times it's about $2,100, right, for 7 days. And then on top of that, you're going to add about 15 to 17% just to be able to book that vacation through Airbnb, VRBO. Obviously, the fees change depending on the site, the different things going on, but they're quite high. And the longer you stay, the more it can be, and those type of things. So, DirectStay we've taken those fees down to, the host will have commission free. So they will receive full commission for their booking. And we don't take fees from them. On the guest side, it's going to be very, very minimal, just probably the fee that it would cost to do the transaction, Steve. So we're talking basically anywhere from a 15 to 17 to 20% savings for them to be able to book the same. Here's the thing is you can book the same rental, Steve, on any of the sites. Why would you pay 20% more? I think that's the question to ask people. It's the exact same property, but at DirectStay, you're not going to have all the exorbitant fees because it's expensive just to travel, just to airplane, rental car, short-term rental, all those things. We don't need to take on tax on all those extra fees just for you to have a great experience. So we found a really exciting model and platform to be able to help them do that and put a lot more money in their pocket to enjoy on their vacation and their experience. Maybe they want to do an excursion or something like that. Put it towards that instead of a booking platform.
Now, it goes even further than that because you're a smaller company, it's more personal, and you care, like you truly care. So there's other perks or advantages that go to the host and potentially the renter as well, right?
Absolutely. So one of the big things is we just think that the hosts are the rock stars of the industry and of the community. And so we have a team that is constantly looking for new opportunities for them to be able to increase their revenue as entrepreneurs. One of the big ones, Steve, is that and I was in Portland yesterday meeting with a new partner. We were at a restaurant called the Tin Shed in Portland. They did an amazing job for us. And so we talked to them about uploading them with one of our partners where what we found is that people like to make decisions on what they're going to do about 3 days ahead of time. So this company that we partnered with, I'll call it at the host company, amazing company. And basically we partner with them. And what they do is they give the host their own store, so to speak, locally of all the different things that they can partner with for their guests. So that when the guests come into town, they can pre-book these things. And as they're pre-booked, Steve, whether that's a inside the house chef or massage therapist or a restaurant that you go to that they're not aware of, if they book things early, the host will get a extra commission for that. And obviously the local business owner is going to get a lot more business. So we are drawing local community and hosts together to provide more income for both of them. That's a big advantage of the host. And then people, the big things we hear is the cancellation policies that are restricted from the Airbnb, the VRBO. That's all open from us. We allow them because we believe that if you're truly the business owner, that we shouldn't tell you how to run your business, but that you should have the empowerment to be able to set up these policies the way that you want and execute them as you see fit as the business owner. And then we're here to provide the connection, the bridge, so to speak, and the tools to help you do that.
Wow, that's a big one. Let's go on that one. So I have a friend and I work with him, and now he's living abroad. He sold his house. He's a digital nomad, as he says, and he can go wherever he wants. And it's even way cheaper than when he was owning a house. So he's kind of living the dream for a little while. Let's have fun with it, right? So he gets a place in the Dominican Republic, and then decides to change location on the island. He likes the island, so let me go to a different spot next month.
Right.
Picks the spot out. There was a really big rainstorm. He rolls by before he was going to rent it, and the pool is flooded out. I mean, there's water everywhere. Right. So he said, listen, I'm supposed to be coming there Thursday. It is a Tuesday. I'm asking for a refund. There's no way you're going to have it ready. I need to pivot someplace else. My rental at this location is changing. I need to pick one now. They wouldn't refund his money.
Right.
It was a whole big thing. And it was, substantial, like 2 grand, somewhere around there. It took almost an act of Congress to get that refund back. And I know that sometimes people, hey, plans change and I want to get my money back. Whatever the situation is. This was a bona fide, but he sent me pictures. I saw the pool, like it was mud in the pool. It was horrible. Eventually, after a number of weeks, he got the money back, but it was challenging because he wanted to apply that money to the stay at the other location. And just like you said, that was Airbnb pretty much hijacking the owner of the place. Maybe the owner might have said, "Yeah, you know what? We get it. We have a mess over here. It's going to take us a couple of weeks before we can get back on track." But they took over, and ultimately for the host, I believe, what happens in that situation? Bad reviews. Somebody's going to. I try to get a money back. Well, it wasn't the host; it was Airbnb that wouldn't release the money.
Right. Right. Yeah. One of the big things there with us, Steve, is that with that situation, we actually will work on their behalf to help them find another place because we've actually dealt with that ourselves in regards to we had a place that was double booked. And so two families showed up at the same time. So we scrambled to make sure that one of the families had another place that was a couple doors down, working with somebody that we knew to make that happen. And so we worked exhaustively to help them make sure that they could get into a property. They didn't have to turn around, because how deflating is that, Steve? I mean, people just get super excited for vacation
Sure.
and experience and those things. And so, DirectStay will help you to the best of our ability to put you into another rental, work with the host and those type of things to rectify the situation. So, we don't want to leave somebody just hanging in a situation like that. And we take everything case by case and want to resolve it as quickly as possible and make remedy the situation and make everybody as happy as possible.
I'm going to say it. Good luck getting somebody on the phone from Airbnb. Good luck.
Right.
And now, what if you're in another country and something's up? And wow. How about some of the other unique things for hosts? We're focusing on hosts today, but with DirectStay, any other things that, advantages?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the big things that we found, Steve, in regards to the industry is that when there's people that want to get into the short-term rental market, a lot of times they are intimidated by all the rules and regulations locally, the taxes they have to pay or don't have to pay. And so there's a lot in the beginning to start it up, and sometimes it can be deterring to them. And so we don't want that to be a deterrent. So what we have is we have a partner called House in Order. And basically what they do is they help you get started with everything you need in that specific city and municipality to be able to start your business. They do all the work for you. And they have two different options, which is really nice because it's a lot of work in the beginning to make sure that you're compliant. That's the big thing, and that's a
Wow.
big thing for us is compliance. So our partner House in Order, what they'll do is they have a do it yourself where Steve, you have the property, you want to get started with your home, and you say, well, I just don't know what to do. So they have a whole checklist for you that they'll give you all the information. You'll know exactly what you need to do. You can do it yourself. Or if you say, you know what, I'd rather pay somebody to do that. I don't have the time. I'm focused on getting all the amazing things for the house that's gonna be a part of the rental. So they also provide a service where they'll take care of everything A to Z, make sure that they speak with the local officials, get all the necessity certificates, all those things, everything that's necessary to get started, and communicate back to them for a fee, and they'll be ready to go. So we'll take that
Wow.
upon ourselves to do that. So we don't want anybody to be deterred from having a business. So that is another big option that we offer other hosts that want to get started. Or, a lot of times keeping up the rules and the regulations in these cities, Steve, they're constantly changing and people aren't on top of it. So that's another thing that we offer is that we will stay on top of that for you, that we have a partner that will do that so that you're not getting caught by surprise with some type of a letter or a fine or something.
Mm,
Oh, the regulation or the rules change. Nobody else is doing that for you. They just say, basically,
wow.
you are on your own. And we're in this. We, like I said from the very beginning, that we consider our hosts and guests family, so that we want to treat them that way. And so we're going to go out and work with them and help them do those things that are necessary, stay compliant, not be deterred from starting, and just making sure that there can be a great experience from both sides.
I'll bet you there are so many properties, a large percentage on the other sites where people don't even know that there were permits involved and municipality jurisdiction and guidelines that no matter where you're going to list your property that you have to adhere to. And I'll bet you a lot of people don't even look at it with that word business. It's like, yeah, we got the lake house. We're not using it. Let's see if there's some interest in it. Let's just put it on the site and leave it be until something happens or you get a letter in the mail. And now, yeah, fines, penalties, and all of that. Thank you for sharing that. That shows that DirectStay, you and your team actually really care about the hosts.
Yeah, absolutely. And if I could touch on that, Steve, on there with that specific topic, is that there are a lot of lawsuits right now with local communities and the bigger sites because of people not paying taxes. And so, what my partner and I have decided from the very beginning is that what we're going to do is we're actually going to go into the local communities and work specifically with the legislators and the people that are in charge of these things, and work with them on being able to communicate to them what our model is. How, we know all the issues and problems that they have had, but that we want to come in and work with them and partner with them to make this a much better experience. We want to make sure that they get paid on time, and just make everything more fluid for the city and also the property owner. So that's something that we talked about, because I believe wherever there's a major problem, there's an opportunity. And so we believe that we can go in and be the solution, and that there shouldn't be all these lawsuits and all this bad taste in people's mouths and blood, so to speak, between, the platform, the rental host, and the local community, because the city feels that they're not getting the necessary taxes that they're due. And so we want to smooth all that out and be a partner and a player in helping them make things better.
You really are changing the way this is done. You
That's
re-
yes, that's the whole vision with this is that's the mission. It really is. It's the pillars of freedom, empowerment, true ownership, all equaling real business
Mm.
for somebody that wants a real business. Now, Steve, I'll tell you, somebody that, like you said earlier, says, "Hey, I want to just throw my property on there, see if it works, see how much money I can make, and do it as quickly as possible." We may not be the best site for them, but for somebody that wants to have a real business, and with that, there are so many. I will say that our government gives small business owners a lot of tax breaks as a small business owner, and you want to take advantage of those things and have a nice income and use what you already have in your hand to do that. We have an amazing model. Like I said earlier in our first show, we have a wealth building platform. That every day we get up and we are thinking about how can we make this better and put more money into the host hands, and be able to at the same time increase and make better the experience for the guest. And we believe that there's so much room to do that, Steve. Otherwise, we would have never put our hat in the ring with this, because Airbnb, VRBO, Booking.com, all these big platforms, they're generating millions and billions worth of business. So they're doing very well, but here's the key to it, Steve. Are they doing it right? Are they doing what's best for the host? Are they doing what's best for the guests, or are they doing overall what's best for themselves? So I believe that business is simple. Provide a solution that somebody wants, provide an exceeding amount of value. You will have more financial blessing than you can do with, but put them first, make sure that things are right. Everything else takes care of itself.
Well, biggest challenge is people don't see alternative until now. It's, you
Right.
just when you go to the grocery store, you pick a couple of certain brands because you're just so used to grabbing them, but there's other stuff there if you really look. We
Right.
looked. We got it. This is it
Right.
right here. Refreshing. Your business model for both the renter and also the host. And again, this is ground floor. This is being rolled out next few weeks or so. There are advantages in that as well. I believe there's a founders level that you attain
Yes.
if you hop on board.
Yes, absolutely. We're excited about that. So we're doing beta testing right now where, if you're a host, you have multiple properties, or even if you have a single property, you've been doing this for a while, or you want to, even if you want to get started, it's your first time. We're excited to bring you on as a host doing beta testing. We need the beta testing to be able to make sure that all the bells and whistles and tools, everything is working properly. Here's a big thing that I want to communicate, Steve, is that I'm a CEO and also someone that is very open to feedback because I believe that the users are going to make the platform the best. And so I need them to be able to communicate to me, our team, what they like, what they don't like, positive, negative. What would you do to change something? And we're very open to making those changes. And so the host that comes in now and registers with DirectStay, they will register for free. They'll be able to use the site. They'll be able to have connection with guests and do bookings and those type of things. And they'll be part of the Founders Club where they're going to have a lot of special benefits that they will have for a lifetime because they started with us. But the beta testing and having hosts that are honest with us about the site, whether it's positive or negative, is extremely valuable to us. So we want to make sure that they're taken care of.
I think of ideas and they pop in my head. Direct stay vacation giveaway. Imagine you pick one property,
Sure.
there's no loss to them if they're not booking that week, and you incentivize them for offering their property for you to promote direct stay. Everybody wins.
Direct stay vacation giveaway. I love that.
I'm always thinking, but I didn't think of this whole idea, and I wish I did because it's fantastic. How does somebody find out more, Breck? What do we do?
Yeah, absolutely. Good question. So we got a couple different things set up as our developer is still working on the site and getting everything all in line and ready to go. So a couple different things you can go to. You can go to directstaywith.me and you can actually be a part of our webinar. We've got a webinar on there that will answer a lot of questions specifically for you, give you a lot more information about the platform and the model. And then also, Steve, we have something that's really unique. We have a calculator that you can actually plug in your monthly rental, how much income that you're making. And then we have a drop down box of all the other platforms, and you'll see right off the bat how much you're going to save with DirectStay. And that will give you a real good incentive to say, hey, I'd love to be a beta tester. And we're going to have a lot of tools, a lot of AI involved with this, Steve, a lot of opportunity for a single host or a host that has multiple properties to have AI actually work with them as an agent running their business. And a lot of people are not familiar with this. And so one of the big things that's important to people, and my wife and I as entrepreneurs, and obviously, Steve, you've had a amazing marketing business and career and those things like that. The biggest thing everybody's looking for is leverage because we want to leverage our time to do the things that we really want to do. So we're setting up these tools, these AI agents and different things, and they're optional. But as a beta tester, you're going to have all different types of things that you can give us feedback on, and it's going to give you leverage.
Hmm.
So that way you can automate your business more. If you want to be hands-on, you can do that too. But we just want to put options on the table to give you that opportunity if that's what you want. And so AI is a big part of this. And then obviously we have a phone number 307-207-3021. That's 307-207-3021. Hit option two. You'll be able to talk to somebody in the live or leave a message and they'll get back to you and talk to you one-on-one about the different plans, everything that's involved, a lot of tools that you can use in your back office. the revenue streams that we have for the host to make a lot more money with DirectStay. And so, and the main website, can go there and see the pleasingness and aesthetics of it as it's being built is going to be directstaynow.com. So those are the ways to get in touch with us. And then I'll give you my email. I love emails from people and love to work with people as well, is going to be breck@directstaynow.com.
Love it. And having a web background, there's so much involved in this. A lot of heavy lifting, if you will, in the beginning, and aesthetically and navigationally easy. Love it. Very comfortable. And the name says it all. DirectStay. You are in direct connection with the host for your stay. DirectStayNow.com. And that also has a link too for the webinar that you said. Breck, great talking with you again. Thanks for all the insight. Just a fantastic idea, portal, and get in on it if you're a host. Get in on the founders level, if you will. Thanks for being here. Looking forward next time we get together.
Sounds good, Steve. Thanks so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. We'll be right back.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.